Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is 9:01 a.m. and you are listening to and watching Good Morning, Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. We are excited to welcome a brand new guest to the program, representing a brand new organization, Kissel Salmeron. Salmeron, correct? That's how you pronounce it?
It's actually pronounced Kissel, Salmeron.
Oh,
It's
see?
okay. It's okay. It's something I always told myself is like, it's okay. You're always gonna have a lifetime of mispronunciations, but hey, it makes me unique, right?
Right. Kissel, thank you for coming on to the program today. Glad to have you on and really looking forward to talking about, life insurance, retirement, and different things like that kind of information that helps families.
Yeah, no, thank you again for having me. It's a big thing for me because never thought myself was gonna be in situations like this, like representing my community in a different level as I'm used to. But, again, thank you for, putting me on the spotlight for this.
Absolutely. Just a little bit of background for folks, too, before we get started. You and I met at a neighborhood market, which was on Aurora's east side, Benton and Spencer. Yep, it was a nice day, a lot of different vendors and everything out there. And what I was impressed by was that, you guys had, there was food, arts and crafts.
Yes.
And then important information like 401ks and Roth IRAs and things like that. So I thought that was very well rounded.
Yeah, so actually, I like to stay on top of those events, especially for back to school, because a lot of parents, I want to educate them in having a secure financial foundation. That's all about what I'm coming in for. Just so people are more aware of, there's more resources than just the bank, than just because not a lot of people have those resources or basically the income to get to a financial advisor versus a financial professional. They're licensed and they're able to ask, basically follow a plan to get the solid financial foundation that many are not taught how to get there.
In your experience and what you've been doing with folks, what would you say the ratio is with folks who, have some type of financial knowledge but just don't know maybe the next steps, or people who have no financial knowledge at all but have that desire to learn?
I mean, it's it varies by person. There's not everybody knows it. When we talk about for example, how the wealthy stay wealthy is through life insurance.
Right.
And not a lot of us know about that information. For example, me growing up, I kind of didn't know life insurance existed as I got older. I was probably 19, 20 years old when I discovered about life insurance, when some random person approached me and asked me if I knew about it. And I was like, honestly, I don't know, but I would like to get educated because, as we get older, we always want to stay educated about different things, about different methods, about keep staying ahead or being ahead. And for me, this was it.
That's nice. Now, you are a broker with PHP.
Correct.
And how long have you been a broker, and what was your journey like? How did you get to where you are and where we are today?
So I've been part of PHP as a broker, like a licensed professional for 2 years now.
Okay.
And how it started again, I was 19, 20 years old. I just became a client. But then I'm the more that I saw in my community, the need of this information is it kept coming back to me. And I'm okay, so I know God anointed me to be someone to serve people because I always serve individuals my whole life. Growing up, I always serve community hours, I was always involved in the community somehow, some way. Especially in high school, I don't know if you're familiar with the ROTC program.
Oh yeah, very familiar.
I was in there all 4 years of my life, and it caused me to keep serving people. It was my calling to serve. So as this came up, I was okay, so I'm able to educate my family a little bit or myself. So why not educate more people? People that are running black, they need this information because we all rely on GoFundMe, fundraisers, and instead of grieving or being peaceful in recovery, why not have something in advance? We take things for granted, or we don't take advantage of them how we're supposed to take advantage of them.
Why is that?
I just believe for me, myself, growing up, it's all about making things happen, making sure the home is taken care of. We prioritize that, but what about when we are ready to retire? How are we gonna prioritize that? How are we gonna the time crunch? It's it stresses people out, I will say. So I want to close that gap, especially with individuals who are younger or my age, to like, let's start thinking about our future, because what if nobody is going to teach us those things now, but what if we teach things that are too late, you know?
Right.
So like, for example, like if you're on the older side, like start thinking about it now, because something that I will say is like, who's going to guarantee you an income if you're not being well educated about how to have guaranteed income? Because if you have a retirement plan, awesome, but it can run out sometime, right?
Right.
So why not have someone talk to you about it now and show you how you can have a guaranteed income until you can survive. Like, so like not survive, but like outlive your retirement, basically.
Right.
So like have something guaranteed, you know. That was something that I will play a lot, a guaranteed income.
Right. Now, where does your work, again, you've been at the neighborhood market, and I know there's another one coming up, I believe, next
October.
Coming up in October. Where else does your work take you? Where else does Kissel deliver this information?
So I'll go honestly all over the place. I'm actually gonna be going to Chicago next month as well.
Okay.
So I will go where I think it will be best. Not like I think will be best, but like where everybody should know.
Right.
So like next week, next week, right? Because it's already like last week of the month.
Oh my goodness, it is. Wow, that
I
went
was
fast.
just thinking about it right now. I was like, oh my goodness.
That went fast.
So I will be
Yep.
having like, I'll be at 2 different events back to back that weekend.
Okay.
So I will be here in Aurora, and then another one in Montgomery.
Okay.
So I'll basically go wherever like I have to go.
Right.
I don't say I need to do it. Like I have to go here, because if nobody knows this information, who is teaching them? Who
Right.
is like, I'm taking time out of spending time with my family to ensure that everybody that I come across with gets this information,
Right.
gets this education, because it's not about like just educating them and leaving them alone. It's educating them properly to show them like, here are the 6 steps you need to ensure that you get to financial security.
Right. The time is 9:07 a.m. If you're just joining us, you're watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast, and we're here with Kissel Salmeron of PHP. I want to just, backtrack just a tad bit, because you did mention something that I think was very important. There's a lot of, a lot of members of the Black and Brown community. I feel like what you say is true. For a long time, the focus is, working now, having a job now, and doing the now kind of stuff.
Yes.
And it's not that there's no lack of vision for the future. It's just that I just don't think that for many in our communities, there's rarely a forethought about an emergency that may happen. Maybe the breadwinner of the family gets hurt, kind of thing. And then it's like a what now kind of thing. So again, your work is important and what you're doing is great, but what do you think are a few ways that we can maybe start a movement or maybe drill this information home in a strong fashion with our communities?
So exactly, like something that we offer is like something called like living benefits. So that means it's like how you said it, like if something happens to the breadwinner, what's next?
Right.
How do we move forward? And a lot of times, correct me if I'm wrong, like it leads to GoFundMe.
Right.
It leads to throwing fundraisers. So having something in place that is like securing that this individual, if something happens to that person, you don't have to like fall back on anyone else. What if nobody has your back?
Right.
And something that we think we do have a village, but in reality, do we really have a village? So having something in place now can lead you to like not go through a whole catastrophe. Like it prevents one. So that is something that we offer in like basically, how I mentioned the 6 steps of financial security. That's what one of our steps is, like making sure that your income is protected, you're protected, and your assets are protected.
Right.
So that's one of the steps, like proper protection.
Okay. All right. Now, building and protecting wealth as well. And I want to talk to you about generational wealth. For those who may be unfamiliar with that, I know that term is, and I'm happy to hear that, it's starting to get a lot more use and explanation. You see it a lot more places, and it's not just something that is on like CNBC. You know what I'm saying? It's not just older folks talking about it anymore.
Yeah.
It's young professionals like yourself. So, if you could explain to the audience, what generational wealth is, how important it is, and how your organization and your brokerage can help with that.
So generational wealth is obviously like you leave money behind for generations to come, right? So I'll use the Rockefellers for example. They're like the most wealthiest family here in the U.S., right? Like one of the most wealthiest. Rockefellers use life insurance to provide that generational wealth.
Right.
Like if it didn't start with that individual who took initiation, like how will the future look like for them, right? Same thing for us. Like if somebody took their time to sit down with us and educated us about proper protection, like, and if something happened to us now, like let's say we pass away, like God forbids, right? We pass away, like we will, like whatever you had from that policy can like help, let's say your spouse and your kids to stay in the home that you worked so hard to buy and pay for during that time. And or even put them through school, because some parents, they do want their kids to go to school, but obviously like it all depends on the child, right?
Of course.
Because like some say, school's not for me. I was one of them, but I ended up going to school. Okay. But it's just like about like educating us about like how much money can we leave behind and how much it can last for like the next generation to come. Like for example, for me, I already started the next generation. I started, like, from what I can recall from my family, like, counting down, I started the 5th generation of our family. Like, imagine, like, for me, it's an honor, it's a blessing, but it's the pressure, on how I'm gonna, like, it starts with us, like, it starts for us breaking these curses that we think we can never break. It starts with us, like, saying, like, what do we want our family to gain? Like, what kind of, basically goes down to legacy. What kind of legacy do I want to leave behind? So that's what it means about having generational wealth. The legacy that you're going to leave behind for the next ones to say, because, we can say, like, I want to do this, but are we going to do it?
Right. So I just want to list off a few of the services offered as well. 401k rollovers, IRA and Roth IRA rollovers, mortgage protection, life insurance, long-term care, debt settlement, annuities, and living benefits as well. Now, under the PHP umbrella, what are the firms that you work with?
So, like the carriers?
Yes.
So we have options. Okay. So we work with like National Life Group, Foresters, Fidelity Guarantee, John Hancock, American National. And the reason that we have various carriers is because we don't tailor to one. We tailor to many clients that have different needs. And we want to ensure that what we offer is that fits them. We go based on the family's needs, what they need, and only about the family. So if there's different things that they need, and let's say one carrier does not suit them, then we can go with a different one and be like, okay, this one goes well with you, so how would you like to move forward?
Right.
So it's just the options.
Yeah, 9/13 is the time. Now, you've been in your role for 2 years. What have been the challenges?
The challenges?
Because everything doesn't go right?
No, the challenges can be like some individuals don't want to move forward, or they don't see the importance, and it's like all about like not trying to see, but like how, like changing my skill set basically. Like I always have to like, change my skill set, but get better in my skill set, because many individuals can be pretty challenging to work with. But it's all about like me making sure like, okay, if I'm not being challenged, am I really serving them?
Right.
So it's like, any person's challenge, it's a very challenging like challenge. They can challenge me, but it's all about like how I make sure that I stay up to like my skill set, like if I'm improving as well. Because if I'm not improving and I let the family walk away, it's like, did I do my job?
Right.
Educating them, serving them.
For those who are reluctant, what's their reason? And before you answer that, like, does it indicate a prior lack of knowledge that maybe they're a little bit older now and they haven't had life insurance before, so they're kind of like, I'm whatever age I am, maybe don't need it now. I deal with a little bit of the same thing in housing. People who are just reluctant to, owning a home, they really don't even want to entertain that. So, what's that like?
It's the same way like owning a home is like the desire to learn more. Some just like say like, okay, I am on the older side, I don't need this anymore. But if in reality, or they say like, oh, I already have someone working with me, but in reality, are they educating you well enough to guarantee you an income? Because I don't know if you noticed, but like there's older individuals working still at this like at an
Oh
older
yeah.
age,
Oh yeah.
and it makes me sad because I always wonder like who sat down with them, and sometimes I do approach them, and sometimes they say, "Oh no, I'm okay." I was like, "But are you really? Like who's back? Who is in your in your back scene helping you achieve to be home retired?" I just want to like paint the picture to everybody that we all have a retirement age, right? But are we really on track to hit to like be retiring comfortably?
Right. Right. I this is a great conversation. 9:16 is the time if you're just joining us. This is a great conversation, and it started at your booth because, as I get older, my health, my diet,
Changes.
so many different things.
Mm-hmm.
And thankfully, I started on a sound financial path. It took me to join the military to kind of
Yeah.
learn those different things
Oh,
too.
thank you for sharing
Financial literacy when I was young. It
Mm-hmm.
was not something that was taught in schools.
Yes, exactly.
And as I make these different changes and transitions and things,
Mm-hmm.
I am more thankful for
Yeah.
the people like yourself who are out there giving this information.
Yeah.
Do you work with any of the schools, and do you have any type of relationship or perhaps an entrance in any of the schools?
So right now, that's what I'm doing. Being an alumni for East Aurora, I want to give back to my school district. Sorry. So that's what I'm doing right now, working on seeing like how I can get there. Also, how to educate like the teachers, because some teachers are getting ready to retire. Some teachers think like what they have is enough, but in reality, is it enough? So like I'm right now working on doing that. Speaking to like the individual in charge of that to see how I can get there. Showing them my materials, how I'm gonna educate. So I'm in the process of doing that because I do want everyone to know, to be aware of this. Even the students, like even if they're like young, give them a few nuggets of how to get to their how to be educated on financial literacy is okay. Like it's okay for us to start at a young age because who else gonna teach us those things?
Right.
Unless obviously you come across a professional like myself or anyone in my field that will be willing to educate you, who is going to be serving you properly.
Right. How many Latinos are in this profession, and what is this like as a Latina doing this work? 9:18 is the time.
So as of now, I believe it's 52% that are Latinos, and according to like how our diagram is, and for me, it's like a challenge. Sometimes being a Latina in the field of like financial literacy because some of our Latinos are really hard-headed, and I know like we think that our methods are going to work, but I want to like break that down and show them like are they really going to work?
Right.
Because growing up, myself, I always put myself in their shoes as well because growing up, I know my parents only knew about one way of saving, but I know that eventually it's not gonna help you grow that saving.
Right.
Especially like being having 3 kids is like, a lot of things can happen. One likes one thing, the other one likes another thing, or it's hard to keep up a household if it like that has 3 kids or more. Like for example, like my mom and my dad, like I wish somebody sat down with them and educating them about like how to get ahead, because there are often times that we wish we didn't have enough. We didn't have enough, and I wish somebody taught my parents how to allocate their expenses differently, where you can allocate them. Like that's why I feel like it was a calling because I like numbers, but then like finances, like same thing. Like I will teach myself a thing or two growing up by myself. I was always like a book nerd, so like a bookworm, so I was trying to read about things to get myself ahead. But it's like I want our Latino and our brown and black community come together and finally like bury this misconception.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why this show exists. It's we are a people, our peoples. We are a
Yes.
people who, like I can think back when I was a kid. My grandma's friends, they had money under the mattress
Yes, that part too.
because they didn't trust banks.
Yes.
They, my uncle can do it, my tio can do it. He's not a licensed mechanic, you know,
Yeah.
and it's like he'll do it for cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's not always the best thing to do. Maybe you want
Yes.
to pay for the service and get a warranty and different things like that. There's
Yes.
so many just different nuances and things like that that people need to know. And what we've tried to do,
Yeah.
when this episode is one of those, it's like, you know what? Instead of, we all love our uncles,
Yes, we do.
we love our TOs,
Yes.
but ask a professional.
Yes.
Ask someone who went to school, you know, who is accredited in these type of things, and this could stand us in good stead. 921 is the time.
Yes. So I do also want to mention that, you know, I offer free consultations.
Okay.
Like like I said, it's part of me servicing, and I think God puts me in situations like that because am I really there just to serve or chase?
Right.
But for me, it's serving. So I offer free consultations because I want that individual to get educated. That's always the goal, education. And if you gain something out of it, then awesome. If not, then you walked away with more knowledge than you used to know about before.
Right, absolutely. In this 2-year time, what's been your biggest success?
My biggest success
What was the one where you went home and you were like, you know what? This is why I'm doing this job.
I actually I feel like the biggest one will be like a mother. You know, she already had adult children, and the point like she took initiation about getting herself protected to ensure that if something happened, I just got a call from him yesterday. So funny that I talk about her. She called me yesterday. She was like, I need more protection. I'm like, oh, what's going on? Everything okay? She's like, yeah, but I don't think it's enough. I don't think it's enough what I'm leaving behind. And I was like, wow, like, you're like it inspired me to be like, okay, what she thinks she had. Because I sat down with her, you know, we talked about it. I educated her, and she has something in place. But yesterday, I think she called me, and I was like processing it with her. I'm like, why do you think it's not enough? She's like, I don't want my children, because she only has 3 children. I don't want my children to feel like that I left behind is not enough for them. I want to make sure that they're taken care of, and my grandbabies are taken care of, because she's a grandma already too. And I was like, wow, like I wish a lot of individuals like herself, her age, thought like that what you have in place is not enough, but you need more.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, like, I just like talk to her. I'm like, okay, you know what, like, it's a Sunday, you know, I know you want to enjoy your family, and I'm thank you for calling me, and then we catched up a little bit, and then we have something set for her, like, to meet with one-on-one again. But it's about like people wanting more, like wanting to be like, this is not enough. I feel like for me that's like wow, I did my job. It makes me feel proud of what I did, and my mentors of how well they taught me about like always leaving your mark, basically. And leaving my mark is having a well-educated person leaving their home, or them leaving my office with well knowledge.
Right.
Instead of walking away with like, oh, she didn't teach me anything. Because for me, that's going to be like, I had to do better.
Right.
So that's why I'm saying, like, I like to make my skill, like, improve on my skills daily, just to ensure that I'm educating families more.
How can folks learn more, find you on social media?
So
how can they contact you?
So my social media is, so in Facebook is my first and last name, Kissel Salmeron. And then my social media is the same way. It's just it's like I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok. I make it more my educational platform, so you can find me there, and I'll talk about a little bit of different things. I even involve my son and my family in there, because I want people to understand that just because I'm a financial professional doesn't mean that my family not involved. Like,
right.
My family is the reason why I keep going, because they know that they believe in me. So I want people to like check out my videos, read and learn 1 or 2 things. But if you really want to learn, is when we have those one-on-one conversations.
And do you have an email address or a phone number as well?
Yeah, so my phone number where you can reach me is 630-808-6502, or my email is my last name, salmeron.kg29@gmail.com.
And are you available to, or do you have any events coming up where folks can come to and perhaps see you? Is there anything going on locally?
Locally,
anytime?
yes. So on Friday and Saturday, I'm going to be at a church. I can like share more details with you if you like, so you can share it. And then on Sunday, I am going to be in Montgomery.
Okay.
So
right.
I'll be in those two events.
That's awesome. All right, 9:25 is the time. I actually have just another quick question for you, but I just want folks to know that the information that we're talking about today is very important. Kissel is doing a great job, and the folks that I met her through as well, Itzia from Breezy Creations. Again, I just kind of want to reiterate and let folks know that that is a very well-rounded group with a whole lot of different resources. Food, financial insurance, and arts and crafts as well. And I believe that there should always be a healthy blend of all of those things. For our communities love to eat. That's great.
Yes.
Everybody likes to have some little trinkets to hang on your window in your car. That's cool too. But are you financially secure? Do you have life insurance? Some of those hard questions that our communities deal with every day. I think now is the time in 2025 with young professionals like yourself to start bringing those conversations to the forefront and actually try to do some more good
Yes.
in that field. All right, 9:26 is the time. Before we wrap this up, anything else that you'd like to say? Any other message that you'd like to deliver to our shared communities?
It's just like all about thinking about your family. Like, are you really going to be the flag carrier of your family? Like, is it going to be you changing that generational curse? Because we were taught one thing, but what about our next generation? Are they going to survive off that one thing we were taught growing up? So it's about like making sure that you know what your information, knowing that you're going to the right person who genuinely cares and educates you. It's all about like your willingness to learn, like your willingness to be educated, because you can be educated by a young person and be like, oh, she doesn't know it at all. So it's all about like being open-minded to the education and be willing to learn about it.
Wonderful. Kissel, thank you very much for your time.
No, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for coming on to the program today. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Kissel Salmeron. If you have any questions about any of the information shared today, you can go ahead and contact Kissel via email or telephone, or if need be, you can send us a DM or any kind of message on Facebook, wherever you see us at, and we would be happy to share and let Kissel know and get you connected. That's it for Good Morning Aurora this morning, ladies and gentlemen. Buenos Dias Aurora has what I think is probably one of the most fantastic shows coming up here very soon. They've got 2 new guests on this morning talking about the Golden Music Awards, which are coming up November 8th. So get ready for that. Good Morning Aurora will return tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Be blessed. Take care of yourself and each other.
Yeah.